students, this is Gnyan from Samarpan Gnyan school. Today we are going to study social science. From that we are going to take geography, class 6, chapter number 2, globe, longitude and latitude. And children, this is the part 3 video which we are going to see. Right? So children, are you ready? Okay. So let's move further. Right? So before moving further, we would like to just revise, or we will be taking a glimpse about what we saw in part 1 and part 2. Okay. So just a revision part, that is, this is known as North Pole. This area is known as South Pole. Okay. And then we saw that this is the imaginary line which is exactly in the middle of the earth. That is your equator. Right. And the parallel lines to this red line, these parallel lines are known as longitude, which are the vertical lines in the earth, that is known as longitude. And the exact parallel lines to the equator, those are known as latitude, right? That is horizontal lines, those are known as latitudes, right? So now you can see that this red line, right? What is this? This is known as prime meridian, right? So prime meridian, it is the exact between, or it is the exact imaginary line which is there and which is crossing the equator. See, you can see in this line that in this picture, this is the prime meridian and this is the equator, right? Exact center lines of the earth, right? So now moving ahead, right, in this picture you can see this is how the earth is moving, right? So now we will start with this, that the movement of the earth, right? So the earth takes 24 hours to rotate once, and that is, it goes 360 degree of longitude, right? So it is going to the 360 degree longitude. So every 4 minutes the sun passes over 1 degree of longitude, right? And that means that that places that are 1 degree apart from the time difference of 4 minutes, right? So there is a difference of 4 minutes. And the earth is always rotating from the west to east, that is an anti-clockwise direction, and places on the east have sunrise earlier than those on the west, right? As you can see in this picture, right? This is the sun rays, and now there is certain points which are marked, right? That is A, it means sunrise part, that is the exact the area where the sun rays are coming directly. And B, it means noon area, right? So here it is the morning time, here it is noon time. And C, it means this area, right? That is the sunset time. In this area there will be sunset, and here it will be midnight. So you can see the how the earth is moving, or it is rotating, right? So that is, it is going from A to B, and then B to C, and then it is coming to the D, and then again this way, right? So this is where again I will tell you again, that is A, it means sunrise point, means in this area it will be sun rising, right? And in B area it will be noon time, and in C area that is sunset time, and in D area it will be midnight time, right? So I hope you understood the exact position and how the earth rotates, right? And why there is difference of time, right? In this and children, mostly previously people were marking this only, right? When it is sunrise, they will think that it is the morning time, right? The sun was the major instrument to measure time in previously, right? So now moving to the next part, that is now local time, right? how we are going to see the local time. So to avoid the confusion, so children, to avoid the confusion, there are longitudes and latitudes, right, which help us to mark the time, so we can understand that what exactly the time in different places, right? So for that, we have different time zones for it, right, to avoid the confusion of frequent changes of time when moving from one place to another, right? If for example a person is in India and he has to move somewhere else in the other country, then there will be a time difference, right? How to measure that time? So for that, we are having the time areas, or we can measure the time easily with the help of degrees, longitudes and latitudes. Now, how we are going to measure the time, right? That is standard time or the local time. It is because that the time zones, there are different time zones since 1884, and by the international agreement, the world is divided into 24 time zones or belts. So children, total there are 24 time zones, right? So there are total 24 time zones, right? Or belts it can be also said, right? And the prime meridian, uh, sorry, it's meridian passing through the Greenwich Observatory near London. So where is this Greenwich Observatory? Exactly here. Children, you can see this prime meridian right over there. So in this area there is a Greenwich Observatory right near London. So exactly that is where, which is used as the starting point and which is known as Greenwich Mean Time, right? That is Greenwich Mean Time, that is GMT. Okay, so this is how we can measure the time of the other parts, right? So this is the mean part, and according to this Greenwich time, we can measure the time of the other places. I hope you understood. Now moving in to the next point, that is local time, right? Various places are different. So it is necessary to adopt local time for of some central meridian of a country. So that is why there is a standard time, right? So in India, 82 degree east is treated as the standard meridian of India, right? And the local time at this meridian is known as Indian Standard Time, right? So now exactly it is 82 degree east. Now I will be showing you what is Indian Standard Meridian. Okay, so exactly 82 degree east, this is known as exact Indian Standard Meridian, right? Why children, if someone is staying over here and he or she has to travel in this area, right? There will be a difference of time, right? If a person is traveling from here to here, right? Somewhere near Gujarat or Maharashtra, then there will be a huge difference, there will be a difference in time. So, in all over the one country, there must be a single time period followed, right? So for that reason we have Indian Standard Time. So all the countries are having their standard meridian, right? So according to that standard meridian, they have to follow the time. Is it clear? Okay, so India is located east of Greenwich at 82 degree 30 east, right, as I told you before, and is 5 hours and 30 minutes ahead of GMT. GMT, it means Greenwich Mean Time, right? So this is followed all over, this is the standard time of all over the, right, all over the what you can say world, right? And by comparing India, right, India's local time this area's time is 5 hours and 30 minutes ahead, right? And some countries have a great longitudinal extent. So they have adopted more than one standard time. So some of the countries are having more than one standard time. Right? In this you can see there is only one standard meridian. Why? Because the longitudinal extent is very less. You can see here that the first longitudinal extent is at 68 degree east, and the next one is 82 and half degree east, and the third one is 97 degree east, right? So there is very less longitudinal extent, but in some countries there is more longitudinal extent, right? So because of that they have more than one standard time. Understood? And now coming to another point, what do you mean by AM and PM, right? Normally you are using that it is 5 o'clock in AM, 5 o'clock PM, right? So why we are using AM and PM, or what does it mean, right? So AM stands for anti-meridian before noon, that is before noon, right? And PM stands for post meridian, that is after midday or noon, right? So this is what AM and PM means. And one more thing, that is the time after midnight and before noon is followed by AM, right? And for example, 6 o'clock in the morning is also written as 6 AM, right? And PM stands for post meridian, right? So the time afternoon and before midnight is followed by PM, right? So it means, just a second. Okay, so here it means that, for example, 5 o'clock in the evening is expressed as, or 6 o'clock in the evening is expressed as 6 p.m. Is it clear? So I hope you understood that what do you mean by AM and PM, right? So thank you.